Yeah, so hi Michelle, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm good and yourself.
I'm doing great. How's your day been so far?
Good, good. A bit busy this morning, but good. And yours?
Yeah, excellent. I can't complain. I can't complain at all. Yeah, so go ahead and let the viewers know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, Michelle.
Okay, my name is Michelle. I'm a matchmaker and a coach in Johannesburg, South Africa. I work with singles both locally and globally. And the reason why I got into this industry because I got divorced a few years ago and I was a bit lost myself and went onto Tinder for a while and I realized that there had to be something more to offer singles, and that's when I went into matchmaking.
Okay, okay. So, what was that like for you, that process? Because, we all have had different struggles in past relationships.
Mhm.
What would you say some of your struggles were in your past relationships, and how did you navigate through that?
Okay, well, with my divorce, that relationship, I actually married my childhood sweetheart, and we were together for short over 25 years.
Hmm.
And I sort of lost myself in that relationship because I kept trying to please him. And some people are not meant to be in a marriage. They're just not cut out to be with one person. And I realized that now that I'm looking back, that we were just not made for each other. As heartbreaking as it was, because we had two amazing kids out of that marriage. And I thought we would grow old together, but unfortunately, that didn't, it was never meant to be. But it took me a while to get on my feet and find my way again because it was a really traumatic, um, heartbreaking time for myself. You when you get to share the love of your life with several and other women and find out that he's had kids with other women, and it's just one something coming out of the woodwork all the time, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore. But I had a good network of friends and family that stood by me and helped me through that. So I don't think I would have made it without them being a support structure. And I also did a lot of work on myself. I needed to find myself again and build myself up from where I was. So that's really helped.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Like, you said a lot about the heartbreak that you went through, because of the infidelity that was going on in the relationship. So,
Mhm.
what was the communication like between the two of you? Like, because if there was infidelity going on, was there a lack of communication, in the relationship as well?
Yes, there was. There was a complete breakdown of communication. And strange enough, he would communicate with everyone but me. So whenever I'd bring up anything, it would create an argument. So it was constant arguing, and then he would use reverse psychology and try and blame me for things that I didn't do. So the more research I did about it, I eventually found out that he was a narcissist. So yeah, there was lots and lots that I went through. But now, as I say, looking back, um, I've done a lot of healing, and I can relate to other women, and I can also help them now because of the industry I'm in, and it's my way of giving back and giving women out there hope that we're in a position like I was.
Mm. Okay. So, like, when you mentioned, like, he would talk about things that you didn't do, in essence, gaslighting you in that kind of
Mm,
way.
yeah.
Do you think there was a level of insecurity coming from him, or what would you think is the cause of him feeling the need to do things like he was doing in terms of um, saying things that not necessarily that you did? Do you think that that was coming from a place of insecurity, or where do you think that was coming from?
Oh, definitely. Definitely insecurity, and it was a way of him shifting the focus of himself. and onto anything other than what he was up to. So then he put it on me. And yeah, he was very insecure. Be it if I spoke to a guy around him, then he'd say I'm having an affair with him or I'm sleeping with him. He'd check my mobile phone. He'd want to know where I am at all times so that I wouldn't actually see where he was and who he was with. So there were lots of occasions. I mean, the very last one was when he befriended, well, he invited this couple into our home and he said they were his friends. And he was actually sleeping with this guy's wife. So I eventually found out about that. So there's lots of examples and things that I've been through with him. But now, as I say, looking back, there were so many red flags that I didn't take note of. And now I can actually guide women and tell them what to look out for.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Like, so do you feel like you also had some insecurities in that time? Like, because if you was in the relationship with someone that was portraying these type of attributes and you stayed in that relationship, what kept you in the relationship? Do you think that you had also had some insecurities within yourself? And if so, like, what kind of insecurities would you say that those were?
I definitely did. I lost myself in my marriage. So um, I had no self-esteem. I I lost Michelle altogether. I didn't know who I was. I was becoming someone that I didn't know because I was trying everything to hold on to what was left of my marriage. So I was definitely insecure. Um, and it was because he broke me down in a way that it was his way of keeping me and manipulating me and gaslighting me. And I didn't quite know what to do next to try and make my marriage work.
So, how did you start to overcome these insecurities that you are facing? Because obviously, now that you're coaching women, you may have went through a process of finding yourself before this stage. So, how did you come out of this insecurity that you was facing and navigate yourself to the place that you are now?
Sure, it's literally like a light bulb moment. It's like everything it's literally like switching a light on and off. It's like a light came on and I realized that if I didn't get out when I did, I would actually die in my marriage because I was literally dead inside. And so I told myself, it's either I get out of it before I'm destroyed completely. And I also thought of my kids, and they were the driving force for me to actually get out of it. It was literally like I was stuck in this deep, dark tunnel, and there was just the speck of light that I could see. And the reason I pulled myself out was because of my kids. Um, they were the reason. I knew that they needed me, and I fought my way out. I did lots of research. I did lots of self care, worked on myself, did lots of different courses, which built myself up again. And I then realized how much I tolerated, how much I lost all the time that I put into my marriage that I could have been out of it. So I went through a lot of it was a lot of learning and soul searching and finding Michelle again. And to be honest with you, I don't even think I've found her completely yet. I'm almost there. But yeah, it's been a journey. It's been an amazing journey. And the amazing parts about it all is that I get to help other women.
Yeah.
As I say, I give them that hope where they feel there's no hope.
Yeah. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
life is a journey and we're all a continuous work in progress. We always
Mm.
find out a deeper element of ourselves and come to a better understanding of who we are. So like me, for example, I coach a lot of women, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that they struggle with is anxiety towards relationships and within relationships. What would you
Mm-hmm.
say some of the causes are of anxiety in the context of relationships? And how does what you do help alleviate some of the anxiety that women may be going through?
Okay, there could be several reasons for that. The anxiety could stem from childhood trauma. It could stem from a really, really bad relationship. It could stem from bullying at school. There's lots and lots of causes for anxiety. And the sad reality of it all is that um, there could be a blockage that stops them from actually getting into a relationship and giving their all to someone that's worthy of them. So a lot of women need to realize that they can work through things like anxiety. Anything is possible. You've got to want to do it. You could coach them, I could coach them, but if they're not willing to meet us halfway and give us the opportunity to help them, they're not going to be able to get through it.
Right, right, right. Yeah, and also like when you was going through what you was going through, you said you was doing some courses and things like that. So you was receiving some form of coaching through
Yes,
these type of so it's never a thing where you can do everything by yourself. Having that support is always important. Would you
it's
agree?
very, very important. Very,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, like a lot of people that go through some type of trauma in their life, especially to do with relationships, it can have an effect on their sense of self in terms of their sexual expression and start to feel a
Mm-hmm.
sense of shame when it comes to intimacy and things like that
Mm-hmm.
about themselves. What would you say to women that have lost that sense of their self and their sexual expression and things like that, and started to feel a sense of shame? How can they navigate through that and be able to express themselves again?
Okay, well, what I'd like to say to them is that there is only one you. There is no one like you on the face of this earth. You are amazing. You are wonderful the way you are. Um, yes, we all work in progress. No one is perfect. And there is, like I say it, there is a lid for every pot. So, there might be a guy that they're into that doesn't like them, but there is a guy out there that would appreciate them with all their flaws. And they may not even be flaws for that guy. He may love them the way they are, you know. Yes, there are guys out there that prefer women that are a size 6 and a size 8, and then there's guys that prefer bigger women. So we all unique. We all wonderfully made. We beautiful. Every woman out there should embrace herself, embrace her beauty. She has so much to offer a guy. And the more she loves herself and the more work she does on herself, she could walk into a room and she could turn heads, irrespective of her size. You know, we all need to just love ourselves enough to be able to put ourselves out there.
Right, yeah, yeah. It definitely is different strokes for different folks, and people have
Definitely.
different preferences. So it's all about us taking care of ourselves and being happy within ourselves and
Yes.
who we are and things like that. So speaking of about like a different type of people with different type of attraction, we go out all the time and we get attracted to different people all the time. We find different people attractive, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can say it's human nature to have attraction towards different people. So in that context, like what is your viewpoint on monogamy versus non-monogamy, and when we're looking at human nature and the fact that we're attracted to people all the time?
Okay, well, I prefer one man only. I'm not that woman that has several. I know different cultures are open to several wives, several husbands, etc. I've had clients that have actually contacted me looking for another wife, you know, and I would never judge anyone based on that. So I think the way the world is going now, everything is just opening up in every way. So it depends on who you are and what it is that you are comfortable with, because I know it can create confusion and cause a problem in a marriage when someone, especially a guy, wants another wife and he hasn't discussed it with his first wife. So as I say, I'm not into all that. So I don't really have experience around in that monogamy and things like that. So I don't know about yourself, if you've had clients that have come to you that have several wives or husbands. But yeah.
Yeah, I definitely come across a range of different people. But you, as a monogamous person, like, what would you say to people that they've chosen monogamy, but they still find themselves attracted to different people, and sometimes they find themselves stepping out of the relationship, like whether male or female. Um, how can they understand what they're going through and who they are, even though they've chosen monogamy and they're still attracted to other people? How can they, what can they do in that kind of situation?
Yeah, well, you know what, that can create a lot of problems, especially in a relationship, because the minute your partner finds out, and believe you me, there's so many ways now of people finding out if their partners are cheating, it becomes a huge problem. I I would suggest that if they feel they prefer several partners, then they need to discuss it with their partner, lay their cards on the table and be honest, because living several lives with several different partners, uh, that could be a nightmare. And it just creates so much unnecessary unhappiness, especially for your partner. So if you feel the need to want to be with other people, maybe you should tell your partner, um, or just exit the relationship, you know, do the right thing. Because if they don't know, that's cheating. If they know, it's a different story. If they know and they accept it and they also part of it, then it's fine. But living a life like that, no, it's just disaster waiting to happen.
Right, right, right. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's say like people that want to be honest with their partner, that they want to maybe open up the relationship or something like that, but they're afraid of losing their partner if their partner doesn't necessarily agree with them. So the fear is holding them back from their honesty, but at the same time, they still have the feelings that they have. So they're in kind of this situation where they don't want to lose their partner, but they still want to experience things in life. What can they do in that kind of a scenario?
Then they need to speak to a coach.
For sure, for
They
sure.
need to speak to a coach. They do. Because clearly they don't really know what they want. They're confused. Um, so I would definitely refer them to a coach that can sit down with them and actually dissect exactly why they want several other partners and they still want the existing partner. So just to work through it so that they could feel more comfortable about where they're at, and if they want to continue seeing all these other people or if they want to work on the existing relationship.
Mm. Would you say some of that comes down to attachment, like what, like the fact that they want to hold on to their partner, but they know that they want to live a different life? Would you say that
Mm.
comes down to being attached to something and not wanting to let something go?
Mm. It definitely is, and it also depends on the history of them with their partner. They
Right.
could have years, um, they could be together for quite some time and all these memories. But then again, I always say social media has created all these options. So now everyone is either chatting here, chatting there, hiding their cell phones. And it's created this, all these expectations for people. It's also given them reason to try different things, to try more partners, and they feel they can get away with it because all they need to do is actually just put a PIN code on their phones, and then their partners can't get onto it. So you see, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult. But at the end of the day, it boils down to your choices, what you want in life. Because for me, your choices determine your future. So you've got to decide as an individual, do I want my partner? Do I want to make it work? Am I willing to put the work in? Am I willing to go for coaching because I feel I have these problems? But then again, you may feel you don't have problems. It's just what you like doing. But eventually she or he will find out. And when they do, you will lose them. So that's why it's so important to come clean and to lay your cards on the table and be honest.
Right.
And if you can't be honest with them, be honest, sit down with the coach and talk it through with them.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. So like, for people getting into a brand new relationship, they are experiencing chemistry and butterflies when the relationship is brand new. They're very excited about this new person that they're seeing, to the point that they want to immerse themselves in that relationship, because it's going both ways and things like that. And in that process, some people start to lose their sense of self because they're immersing themselves so much into this new relationship. So what can they do to still immerse themselves in a new relationship without necessarily losing their sense of self in the process?
Well, for me, if you're going to lose who you are, then it's the wrong relationship. Because whoever you're with, they need to know who you are and accept you for who you are and love you for who you are. So if you're going to be walking on sort of eggshells in the beginning and changing who you are for them, then for me, that's a red flag. Losing my self-worth and losing who I was in my relationship, that was one of the worst experiences ever. And I did it for him. Whereas he should have loved me for who I was and shouldn't have wanted me to change in any way. But irrespective of whether I changed or not, he wouldn't have accepted me because his eyes were always roaming. So you see, it's different for different individuals. But I firmly believe if you have to change who you are, no, it's not for you. He or she is not for you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
for some people, it will be because of their partner's request and behavior that forces them to feel like they need to change who they are. But for others, it's not necessarily their partner's doing, but it's them that just immersing themselves into a relationship because of the chemistry that they're feeling, and they're kind of loving the interaction of the relationship, but they still, like, for example, start neglecting their friends or their social life or their hobbies because they're so immersed in this relationship, not because of what their partner is doing to them, but just because they're fully immersed in this relationship. So what could those type of people do to not necessarily lose their sense of self when this is happening to them in a relationship?
I think they need to communicate with their partner. I've work on themselves, find out exactly what they want in the relationship. That changing who you are, I don't believe in that at all. You mentioned friends. I know of people that when they get into a relationship, they completely cut their friends off. Yes, there are friends that are bad for you. There's friends that are good for you, but you also need that most people need that outlet. You need a friend from time to time. So don't cut your friends off. And if you need to do all that, then as I say, that person isn't for you. Yes, if you're changing for the right reasons, if you feel you've been a player all your life and you meet this amazing woman and you feel, wow, I need to do all this work on myself, then go for it. You know, there's so much you can do for yourself. You could do several different courses about how to better yourself. You could go for coaching. In that sense, I would 100% back it. But if it means you've got to change in a way that it's awkward and you feel you're walking on eggshells, then that's red flags.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like for people that are single, like they got the option of using a dating app or to go out and try and meet someone in person. A lot of people are accustomed to dating apps this day and age, and but a time before that, the only way to meet people was to go out in person. So some people still would like to meet people in person because of the real world interaction, and it feels more genuine to them to do so, but they don't necessarily know where they can go. They don't know whether they should go to the bar or like what kind of place they can go to actually meet people in person. In your opinion, what are some places or ways for people to meet people in real life in a genuine way?
Sure, that's a tough one. I get that question all the time from my clients.
Mhm.
Um, I know a lot of people say no, don't go to clubs, don't go to pubs, because lots of people are having alcohol and they don't really think clearly when they're having alcohol. And you just tend to pick up the wrong people. But then again, you may just pick up your person at a pub or a club. Then you get people that join different clubs like hiking clubs. I don't know how, if they're big in the UK, they're big in South Africa. So you get different networking clubs. You get singles events. Um, some people go to church functions. There's lots of places to meet them. I know with dating apps, I don't know about the UK, but in South Africa, lots of people are pulling away from dating apps because of it's just becoming an avenue for a lot of scammers to sit there and scam people. So there are definitely places out there that you can find like-minded singles like yourself.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Yeah, so like even though they may not like the bars and clubs so much, there are other options, like you mentioned, hiking
Definitely.
or different
Yeah.
activities that they can find their type of person. Yeah, excellent.
Yes.
Thank you for that. So we coach people all the time. We speak to different people all the time, and we learn things from the people that we speak to, like the different type of personalities and different issues that people have. We learn things from the people that we interact with. So, what would you say are some of the biggest things that you've learned as a coach from people that you've spoken with?
Sure. There's lots I could touch on. There's just so many lonely, broken singles out there. People that feel they are not worthy of finding a partner. Um, as I said earlier, it's just people that need hope. They need someone that they can talk to, um, someone that they can grow old with. I have lots of clients that are in their 30s that put their careers first and are now looking for their partners. Um, I've had several conversations with them, and a lot of them are sure they feel that they've left it too late to actually find a partner by putting their careers first and building themselves up to a point where they have their nest egg type of thing. So there's different conversations around that I could touch on, but as I say, most of my coaching is I try to help and guide, especially those that have been heartbroken and are looking for hope or a lifeline. And they ask me, Michelle, is there something wrong with me? Why can't I keep a partner? Why can't I find him? And yes, some of them, the expectations might be in the clouds as well. Because, you know, some people just want this picture perfect person that doesn't exist. So, yeah, it's a conversation that we could talk for hours on. But yeah.
Excellent. Well, Michelle, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for sharing everything you've shared. Where can the viewers find out more about you, contact you, and learn more about what you do?
My website is www.mingle. It's MIINGLE.co.za. I'm on all the social media platforms. And yeah, it's been an absolute honor to be a part of your podcast. And yeah, look forward to chatting to you again soon.
Excellent, excellent. And for the viewers, all of that information will be in the description below so you can get in touch with Michelle. Once again, thank you so much, Michelle, for your time. And is there any last words that you want to say before we end the session?
Okay, to all the singles out there, never give up on love. We all deserve it, and there is someone out there for you. And believe in yourself, because nothing is impossible.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you. Take